You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. My name is Sheikh Abu Hakim Abdullah, President Chairman of Al-Masjid Sharia Law, AMSA, a non-profit religious organization operating in the state of Rhode Island, USA. Well, I hope I'm being some benefit to you. And I hope you see why I'm doing what I'm doing, saying what I'm saying. Bismillah. We must begin to do what we're supposed to do. And we must practice our deen. Not practicing it, live it. We must live our deen, because this is a living way of life. It's not a part-time worship thing. It's a living way of life that we must do, and we must follow every ounce of it, every step of it, every movement of it, every inch, every quarter inch, every foot, every mile. And we get the blessings. Allah says that you learn by teaching. Let me show you about that one there too. You got a bunch of sisters and brothers together now. And they all don't know anything about Islam. And you want to teach them stuff. What do? How do you handle that? I'll tell you what you do. You first got to go ahead and write this thing out, what you're going to teach them. Where you going to get it from? Are you going to give them the whole truth, or just the truth that they can handle at that one time? Then you got to study yourself. You got to go in the books and get this knowledge out yourself. You got to go to classes and get the stuff out yourself. You got to open up the Quran and the Hadith. You got to sit there and write stuff out. You got to go to the blackboard and put it on the blackboard. You got to read parts and tell them that you got to read it, and then tell them to go ahead and read it. After then you give it to them. You got to have them write you about it, put it on, you want 300 words of this, 200 words of that, showing that they understand. Now, you're teaching. What just happened to you, yo? You teaching, what happened to you? Did you get dumber? No. By teaching others, you begin to learn yourself. See, this is you learn by teaching. By going in the Quran, you had to go in the Quran to get the knowledge out for them, and you have learned more by going in the Quran again. By writing this stuff down, you have begin to see more and more of it. And you're benefiting there and learning. This is how you get blessings for what you're doing. You see what I'm saying to you? Listen to what I said to you this day. You get blessings for teaching. At the same time, you get the knowledge also. You get your mind. You get woke up. You wake up, and you start getting stuff to read, understand more. So you get blessings. This is how you get it. This is how Allah lets you earn your blessings. That's how He give you your blessings. This is why Maududi turned around and said, He blessed you by letting you into the Ummah. It's a blessing that you got. That you had picked up to come into the Ummah of Allah. So, I gave you that, and I'm going to give you some more, but I must stay on you about this change you got to make. Now, none of you are rich. Not many of you are rich. Some of you don't even have a real job. And brothers like myself that's out there that can't work, that are sick, handicapped, handicapped, walking hospital cases, are asking for help so they can keep doing what they're doing. And you got a habit of saying, well, brother, I'm working. I don't have nothing to give you. You do have stuff to give. I once said to you that if you dropped a cow, a 400-pound cow, in the middle of the street or in the middle of the park, and say to the ants, y'all get this inside. You think them ants are going to get underneath it and pick it up and walk it into their home? No. They cut it up into small pieces. An ant can carry 4 times its own weight, 5 times its own weight. And they cut big hunks out of it and carry it inside. That's what you have to do. You can, if you got $3, give up $1. And if 50, you give up $1 each. You're helping the brother pay, buy stamps, pay for the telephone, pay for the electric that they're using up. You understand what I'm saying to you? Pay for the stuff that they use to get stuff printed. Pay for the paper they use. Help pay. You know, very few brothers out here are getting, a lot of brothers are not getting any money from Saudi Arabia, from Kuwait, from Oman, Oman, Qatar, and all them places. Bismillah. But yet they doing stuff, they doing things that's helping you, that's educating you, that's pulling it, that's fighting for a lost thing. Stand against armies of people with their TV programs, with their radio programs. And some of them don't have food in their houses, but yet they're doing it. They gotta buy tapes for the cameras. They gotta buy VCRs. They gotta buy copy machines. You see, you got all this stuff they gotta do. They gotta buy VCR tapes, or DVD tapes, CDs, tapes, all this. And they need your help. I, for one, do. You know, I, for one, need help. And you got to do what you got to do. But I'm trying to show you wherein, if you divide yourselves into party groups, and if you got $5, send the brother $1.50. And if you know somebody else got $1.50, then take his $1.50, your $1.50, and make it $3. You can get a money order for $3. Might cost you 75 cents, but you can get a money order for $3. I don't advise you to put no money in an envelope, because you know this ain't no paradise. You know, you got people everywhere stealing, even in the mail department. See, even in the mail department, in the post office, they stealing. Now, you don't believe me? Call up and ask the postal inspector. He'll tell you. They got people looking every day catching people stealing. Credit cards, bank cards, everything. Diamonds, all that kind of stuff. Well, that's what you can do. I advise you to do that. Because these people are doing the Lord's work. And if you read the Quran, you read there's a section in there that is for the striver in his way, that he is supposed to get the zakat. That zakat can't go for buying some shoes across the street. There's people that the zakat goes to. If you got a guy because he don't have no money and his family, and you give them $200 or $300, then he can buy shoes for his family with that. You see? But you got to give it to him or her. And that's what that zakat is for. So I'm trying to tell you something in a nice way. And don't get personal. If you are not doing what is supposed to be done under the Quran and Islam, and the brother is talking about that on the television, like I do, don't take it personal, because the Lord tells you to be just, even against yourself, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your cousins, and anybody else. If they are doing wrong, you have to tell them they're doing wrong. And at the same time, they can ask you for some sadakat to help themselves along and do what they're doing. Don't say no because of what they're doing, because then you saying no to a lost thing. Remember that. You saying no to a lost thing. Because these brothers and sisters that's doing this is doing this in vis-a-vis Allah, in Allah's name, for Allah, for the Islam, for you and the Ummah. And so when you deny them what you have, you deny Allah what you have. And I want you to understand that, because a lot of you are doing it. A lot of you are doing it. Believe me. A lot of you are saying, I'm not going to get it, brother. No, you're talking about me. That's niggerish. So I'm telling you these things. I'm trying to school you. I'm trying to give you what you not seem to be getting nowhere else. Excuse me. This is why I say, I'm not here to run the Quran down to you as the Quran. I'm here to try to get you to change your act, to change what you're supposed to be, that you're doing, and strive for the Sadaqah Mustaqim and the redemption of Islam, and to build Islam back up with sincere, motivated people that call themselves Muslim and Muslim. And this is the way you got to do it. Islam is one of the strongest ways of life on this planet, but yet Islam is poor. Islam doesn't have any money. Islam doesn't have any developments. That all the houses and stuff in the block that Muslims own, that's Muslims own that. That's not Islam own that. That supermarket down the street, that's not Islam supermarket. That's the brothers' supermarket. Maybe 5 or 6 brothers' supermarket. That wagon, that Frankfurter wagon, that's not Islam's Frankfurter wagon. That's the brothers' Frankfurter wagon. But that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get a masjid started. I myself would like to have a masjid started on a nice piece of land, not squeezed into some neighborhood where there's a shopping market and all that, because the devil hangs out around this stuff. And in the United States, you can't tell somebody what they can put on a block. You can have a mosque right here, and a liquor store, and a bar, and a whorehouse, and everything else in that block right there, and nobody can tell you nothing different. They can put that, they can do that. But when you got a piece of land like this around your mosque, they can't tell you, they can't put nothing in there. So when you go spend in the United States $1 million for 20-something acres and put a mosque on that property, you can put stores on there if you want to and everything else on there. But you can't, you can't put that liquor store in there, that bar on there, that whorehouse on there, that drag queen spot. They can't do that. So you can have a bunch of brothers sitting there nodding and smoking reefer and everything else right next to this building. Right next to this building, And if you tell them brothers not to do that, you violate their rights. Because they got a right to stand there and do what they want to do. Regardless of whether it's a violation of the law or whatnot, but they got a right in this country. So you must build your mosque out of that area, out of that city area or that small condensed area. And you must buy up the little houses around it. And that must be done with the masjid earning money. You can't have a masjid that's not a survivor of itself, a supporter of itself. It's a real foolish idea to open up anything that's not a supporter of itself. Even if you had to sell roses like Dr. Moon. You see, I'm not saying you're supposed to get on the subway and beg like Dr. York, which I don't know how you got to be a doctor, but you can't do that with Dr. York. You see, not to put you on the subway, but you must have economic development coming out of that mosque. If it just means getting Frankfurter stands, or getting icy machines, or getting something around the parks, or that, or selling balloons to kids, or turning around painting houses. You must have an economic development situation going on out that mosque to support that mosque and that mosque's needs. You want to help brothers and sisters, the mosque must have money coming in. It cannot live on donations and begging. This is what I want to put here. I had that in Brooklyn, and you can have that here. I'm not standing here trying to get a place to pray at an old bar, an old factory, where people are urinating on the floor and all. That's not what the law says. The law says build your masjid from the ground up. From this day on, build your masjids from the ground up, and let not the non-believer maintain or enter your houses of worship. That's a law. Do what law says to do, and that was at the Battle of Baqarah. Right after they came into Medina. You see? So I'm giving you what is right. And I'm trying to tell you there's a way how to do all this. I'm not standing here trying to blow a bunch of Quran. Because have you got this in your household? Have you got tapes in your household? Whole Qurans on it. Some of you got 3 and 4 stacks of them. But some of you don't have a job. You can't pay the money for the school. How many people can give up $900 a month for the school, go to school? And that's the kind of money you have to give up to a brother, to a school, in order for them to go to school. You can't open a school with nothing. You got to pay teachers in there. You got to pay people. That's what you got to do. You have to pay people. For anything that you need to do financially, you have to pay them. They have to be paid. To paint the mosque, you might can get some volunteers to paint the mosque. But you got to pay somebody, you got to buy the paint and the stuff to do it with, and the ladders, and all that kind of stuff you need. listen to what I'm saying to you. I don't have time to give you nothing else. I'm sitting here waiting on the law. Look at a program come on television called Waiting on God. A bunch of old people sitting around waiting to die. That's what I'm doing. But at the same time, I'm not going to lay there and just give up and put some flowers on my chest and lay back in the bed. I'm not going to do that. That's why I can't go to the senior citizen house. Because the senior citizen will suck life out of me. Sheikh, will you bring me that? Sheikh, will you do that? Sheikh, will you do that? Sheikh, oh, wait. I'm just as old as you. I ain't coming here to be your errand boy. This is what's going to happen if I go there. So I'm staying where I'm at. And you brothers and sisters, hey, you want to know why you're in bad trouble? You want to know why things are so hard? It's because you're not listening and living your Islam. That's why. This is why it's all messed up. I had somebody tell me, well, Sheikh, you can't afford the internet. You can't afford to have a dollar program. I'm working for Allah. If Allah see me working and whatnot, and the brothers see me, I'm not supposed to have the money to do this. Allah's supposed to give me the money to do this. And how did he do that? He put it in this book to give your brothers and sisters, the ones that are doing the job, a wage. Part of the zakat, part of the sadiqat, part of the money that goes into the box. Your imam shouldn't have to go to work. Shouldn't have to go to work. This is why we're getting beat up. We keep talking down about the Christian, and they put their money together and build a church. They get their imam, they get their leader, the imam, $3,000, $4,000 a month. And then the church go ahead and invest. Take the money that they get and invest in Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, or overseas. They invest in overseas. They invest money in Thailand and all that kind of stuff. They're part of the Slavery Act, all that. Invest in slave labor. It's a heavy deal out there. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Rahmanir Rahim, maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Jazakallah.